Thank you. I officially call this meeting to order. And before we go into business, I would like to recognize a couple of people in the crowd. Denise Crosswhite Harden, State Representative. Thank you for being with us today. Bailey Williams from the Governor's Office. Thanks for coming over. Hey, go back. Hi. No item. Just go back and give a good report to our boss, will you? Are there any other guests that I don't have on my list? If not, Chair, will you call roll?
Here.
Mr. Brensley.
Here.
Mr. Frymiller. Mr. Shannon.
Present.
Mr. McCown.
Here.
Mr. Dyson.
Here.
Mr. Alexander. Mr. LaForge.
Here.
Mr. Peterson.
Here.
At this time, Secretary Gatz will give his report and make some special presentations first.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, the department was recently honored with an award from the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials Standing Committee on Transportation Communications. A photo of the Skydance Bridge over the I-40 crosstown in Oklahoma City, taken by Sienna Makowitz from our Visual Studios office, earned first place in the annual Transcom Skills Contest. The bridge was lit in orange lights, which I am particularly fond of myself, as part of our Work Zone Awareness campaign this past spring, and honored the 61 ODOT workers killed in the line of duty in the agency's history. I'd invite Sienna Office Services Video Specialist Eric Leslie and the chairman to come down and join us for the award presentation and a photo. Mr. Chairman, with another recognition, if it's okay, I'll present from here and then we'll do one more photo. We recently also were recognized, an ODOT publication won the 2019 Notable Document Award from the Legislative Research Librarians Committee of the National Conference of State Legislatures. This was for our book called Bridging the Mighty Red River Crossings Between Oklahoma and Texas, which chronicles the history of the Red River and the various crossings from Native American trails to ferries to the modern highway system. The book was prepared through our Cultural and Natural Resources program as part of mitigation efforts for recent bridge replacements at the Red River on State Highway 78 in Division 2 and State Highway 79 in Division 7. This was one of 14 winners nationwide in this competition, and I'd invite Program Director Scott Sundermeyer, Environmental Programs Division Engineer Siv Sundaram, and Commissioners Grimsley and LaForge to join us for the award presentation and photo. And also, there are copies of the book on the horseshoe for the commissioners, so really nice document and something that we can be really, really proud of.
At this time, I need a motion for the approval of the minutes of the August 5th commission meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion?
Any discussion? All approve? Motion approved. At this time, Commission Chair will present the consent docket items. Oh, that passed by majority, didn't it? Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I've been doing that every time I've been up here, and we don't have to vote on that. We'll skip down to.
Vote, there's just no presentation.
Okay. Let's skip down to item number 124. Huh? And that's an,
Vote, we
To
have to
approve the
vote on
consent docket.
We need to approve the consent docket, so we need to vote on the consent docket.
okay.
Move for approval of the consent. Second.
Thank you, everybody. I hate making excuses. I just got off of a plane flying from another country back to here. I'm thrilled to be here, so. And one day I'll get this figured out, how to do all this up here. We have a motion and a second, and all in favor vote on the consent docket.
Somebody needs to turn it on.
Do what?
It's not lit up, lights aren't lit up.
There we go.
There we go.
We got 1 no vote and 6 yes votes. I hope that's not me this time. There we go. All right. Then let's skip down to the items, number 124 from Mr. Tiegler.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Item 124, my programming items this month, I have 2. Part A is LaFleur County, Commission District 2. We are requesting to program a project to repair vehicle impact damage to US 271 over Fushmaline Creek. The estimated cost of this project is $45,000, and it can be ready for a January 2020. So I have a change from the October 2019 that shows in your packet to a January 2020. The party responsible for the damage is known. Part B, Cleveland County and Commission District 3. We request approval to program a project to repair fire damage and vehicle impact damage to US 77 southbound over I-35 northbound. The estimated cost of this project is $150,000 and can be ready for an October 2019 letting, and the party responsible for this damage is known as well. Approval is recommended. Try to answer any questions if you have any.
Are there any questions? Do I hear approval?
Second.
All in favor? It's approved. Go ahead to item number 125.
Item 125 are the engineering contracts. I have 9 items this month. 5 are statewide, 4 are project-specific. Part A is our statewide on-demand airborne LiDAR mapping. We've selected 2 firms to provide this service for us. These firms are Bearing Tree Land Survey, Quantum Spatial, and the aggregate not to exceed for these 2 contracts is $1,500,000. Part B is a statewide, all districts. This is our creation of low distortion projections for the state of Oklahoma. We've selected half associates. Total not to exceed amount is $119,705. Part C is a statewide, all districts, our on-demand environmental services for local government projects. We've selected 8 firms to provide environmental services for our local government projects. These firms are Able Consulting, CC Environmental, CH Guernsey and Company, CP&Y, Cox McLean Environmental Consulting, Garver, Kleinfelder, and Olson Associates. Aggregate not to exceed amount for these 8 contracts is $2,400,000. Part D is the statewide as well. This is our on-demand biological assessment and studies. monitoring and surveys of threatened and endangered species, bald eagle, and migratory birds. We've selected 5 firms to provide these services, and these firms are Blackbird Environmental, Cox McLean Environmental Consulting, Garver, HDR Engineering, and Olson Associates. Total amount not to exceed for these 5 contracts is $1,250,000. Part E is a statewide as well. This is our architectural services and preparation of building construction plans. We've selected CEC Corporation to provide the site adaptation of prototypical port of entry and way station buildings. Services to include architectural services and civil engineering, and will culminate in a final set of plans and specifications, PS&E. Total not to exceed amount is $3 million. Part F, Johnson County, Commission District 3. We've selected Tetra Tech to prepare plans for State Highway 22 over unnamed creek. Total not to exceed amount is $274,436. This project is in our 8-year construction work plan and scheduled for federal fiscal year 2026. Part G in Lincoln County, excuse me, the department has selected Atkins North America to prepare construction plans for US 177. Total not to exceed amount is $619,978. This project is included in our 8-year construction work plan for a let date of federal fiscal year 2026. Part H in Garfield County in Commission District 4. We've selected Triad Design Group to provide engineering and construction plans for US 412. Total not to exceed amount is $659,570. This project is in the 8-year construction work plan scheduled for 2025. And finally, Part I, Oklahoma County and Commission District 4. We have selected Poe and Associates to prepare construction plans for I-35 frontage road modifications from Memorial Road to State Highway 66. Total not to exceed amount is $1,467,829. And this project is as well in our 8-year construction work plan, scheduled let date of federal fiscal year 2026. Approval is recommended, and I'll try to answer any questions if you have any.
Are there any questions?
LiDAR mapping?
The LiDAR mapping, is this the Part A?
Yes.
Yeah, this one, we are going to be using airborne photography, which gets very detailed information. We do mobile as well, and it will give us probably more points than we actually need, so there's a lot of software involved to kind of filter out what we don't need. But this is something that we're getting ready to gear up for the season where some leaves are going to be gone, so it's going to be very beneficial to get this going again.
Is this in anticipation of autonomous vehicles?
It's mostly for projects that we have in the 8-year program, yes.
Okay, all right. And how about low distortion projections, Part B?
That is it's a brand new, we talked about it a little bit in our pre-construction, our pre-commission meeting this morning. This is actually the state of Oklahoma, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm sure Kyle King in the crowd will probably correct me if I'm wrong, and I know Commissioner Grimsley was pretty excited about this, and we are as well. Currently, there are about 6 other states that are doing low distortion, so basically it's going to become more accurate. There are 22 other states that are currently looking at doing this as well for 2022. So we currently have like 2 sections or 2 regions that our surveying is based on. This will break it into smaller sections, probably about 22. So that's going to take out a lot of the distortion of the curvature of the earth, and it's going to get 0.1 foot per mile, I think, is the accuracy. So it's going to get better.
All right. Last question.
No problem.
Part E, the CEC, what is going to be built?
This is our way stations. This is something that I think recently has been in the news. So we're getting ready to hopefully get that contract going again when we find money to build these facilities.
Right, and that's to, excuse me,
Yeah.
the whole architectural.
The building, the architectural, the site, everything.
For a number of stations?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just whatever we need this for. Yes. So it's an on-call as well.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion?
Move for approval on the engineering contracts, 125A through I.
Do I hear a second? All in favor? Passed by a vote of 6 to 1. I was up there twice. I voted yes and no on it. Sorry about that. Okay, thank you.
Item 126?
Yes.
Okay. I have three supplements. Part A is a statewide, this is our off-system bridge inspection. This, every 2 years, we are required to inspect our bridges. We had a contract probably 2 or so years ago. We've selected Guy Engineering Services, and that's what this supplement is for. We're going to increase this contract by $280,000. Part B is Latimer County in District 2. We previously hired Benham Design to do the construction plans for State Highway 2. Supplement not to exceed amount is $14,900. Both of these projects, one is 6.5 miles long and the other is 5. They are both in our 8-year construction work plan in 2024 and 2025. And finally, Part C in Canadian County, District 4. We've hired previously CPNY to do the final design plans for US 281 over the South Canadian River. Supplement not to exceed amount is $403,048.19. This project is currently in the 8-year construction work plan as well in 2025. Try to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions?
Just in general, Mr. Chairman, if I may, what caused the increase?
What causes the increase
Mhm.
for any of these?
Yep.
Typically, if we have something that changes in their contract that's outside the scope of their contract, then we will sit down and negotiate that scope and change in fee. Sometimes there's other requests that come up that maybe we've done something in the past that we'd like to either change some, which wasn't in their scope. A lot of this stuff just happens to come up that's outside their scope. That's typically, like the second one here, that is all surveying information. So we probably extended or needed additional survey, so we allowed them to go ahead and get the additional survey.
Any other questions? Do I hear a motion for
Move
approval?
approval on items 126.
Second.
Engineering contract supplements.
Do we have a second? I'll second if I need to.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Item number 127, change orders with cumulative total of $75,000 or less.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. I'd like to present item 127, parts A through V. These are the change orders on projects which have a cumulative total of change orders of $75,000 or less. This is presented for your information only, no actions necessary, but I'd be glad to answer any questions.
If no questions, it doesn't require a vote, so would you go to item number 128?
Certainly. Item 128, parts A through W. These are the change orders on projects which have a cumulative total of change orders greater than $75,000. Your approval is recommended, and I'd be glad to answer any questions.
And we went over all of these in our meeting this morning. I think got most of the questions answered.
Excuse me, just for my edification, what is false work and jacking pay? This is 128R. I just wasn't familiar with that nomenclature. This change provides payment for the false work and jacking pay items required.
This was a bridge repair project, and false work jacking is supporting the existing structure while we do work on it. It's like a post-tension bridge like out here on 235. And whenever you work those joints over, you have to support them somehow while you're working on those joints.
Good, just didn't understand. Thank you.
Certainly.
Do I hear a motion?
Move for approval on items 128.
Second?
Second.
Item number 129.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Ms. Helms had a death in the family and was unable to attend today, so I'll present her item on her behalf. Agenda item number 129 is for the proposed bid openings, which consist of the final November 2019 and the tentative January 2020. The department requests and recommend approval of this item.
You've heard the presentation. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve. Item number 129 be approved. Second.
I'm not, I don't know what I'm doing up here. I'm just touching that same button every time and I have to touch it twice to get it to work. I can't blame that on being tired and sleepy. Item number 130.
Good morning, Commissioners, Mr. Chairman. Item 130 are our recommendations from the August 22nd bid opening. It is recommended that the following items from that bid opening referred to by call order be awarded. That's call orders 405, 440, 445, 450, 455, 475, 500, 520, 525, 530, 535, 536, 540, and 545. It is recommended that the following items from the August 22nd bid opening referred to by call order be rejected. That's call orders 400, 410, 415, 430, and 513. It is recommended that the decision regarding either award or rejection of the following item from the August 22nd bid opening referred to by call order be deferred in accordance with state statutes until the next regularly scheduled commission meeting, which is October 14th, and that's call order 459. This concludes our recommendations, and your approval is requested.
Are there any questions? Do I hear a motion?
Move for approval on agenda item 130.
Second.
Mr. Chairman? Thank you. Mr. Chairman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. One thing I'd pass along is, again, Shelley Helmus wasn't able to be with us today, but we have, Shelley is going to join us as part of our executive staff as the Director of Finance and Administration and our Chief Financial Officer. So we'll do that a little bit more formally when Shelley's able to rejoin us at the commission meeting, but I wanted you to be aware that she is going to join us at the executive staff table, so we're very happy for that. I want to thank you for your participation in the 8-year plan rebalancing process. I know you guys, it's often very, very difficult to find time in your schedule to sit down with us, but I really appreciate each of you taking the time. I felt like the meetings that we've had to this point and the discussion to this point has been exceptional, and look forward to putting the finishing touches on the plan and having that for your consideration at the October meeting. The October meeting, I would remind you, will be on October the 14th. So that is a little bit different than the first Monday meeting that we normally would have, and that'll be the second Monday of the month. And I'd also advise that even though that's Columbus Day, the state offices will be open, and appreciate you accommodating that a little bit of an irregular meeting. We had a Reason Foundation report that came out recently that had some information in it that was a little bit concerning for the department. We took a look at it and are struggling to some extent to understand what that report looked at and the context in which it was presented. Sometimes the reports and the publications that come out over the course of a year can be a little bit challenging to interpret, and sometimes the reports have some serious deficiencies that don't necessarily correspond with the things that we talk about. Structurally deficient bridges being one of our target performance metrics that we're uniquely focused on, and our data that we collect here didn't match with the data in the report. So reconciling that can be difficult from time to time, and I just wanted to make you aware that we don't necessarily agree with all of the assertions that were released in that report. To give you a little bit of an update on our Office of Mobility and Public Transit, we continue our efforts to stand up that new office in accordance with the requirements of statute, and we're working right now to bring all of our transit providers together to really narrow down and identify what our goals and objectives and performance metrics, most importantly for that office, are going to look like, and how the new office and the creation of the transit policy plan that we are working diligently on right now is going to help advance that new office and move us towards meeting those metrics and goals. So that's ongoing. Over the course of the next month, we're going to have a fairly significant meeting of the group, and I'll have another report for you on at the October Commission meeting, and I'll continue to give you periodic updates until we get that office to the point where we feel like it's established and moving forward. We've got a little bit of good news last week with a competitive highway bridge program with a grant that was received. Last week, USDOT announced recipients of the new competitive highway bridge program grants. These grants are targeted towards rural, less populous states, and Oklahoma's submission was one of 20 projects selected to receive federal funding. And the grant that we received is for $3.5 million to help replace 34 smaller county bridges in Grant County, bundled together in one project. These are structurally deficient bridges, and many of them are old wooden structures, which require very specialized attention when it comes to bridge inspections, etc. Grant County has a low population, but a really extensive county road system, and the highest number of structurally deficient bridges of any county. And this grant is going to help Grant County reduce that number. And we really, really appreciate working with the 3 county commissioners and the support that we receive from our congressional delegation, and especially our senior senator, Senator Inhofe, and his input and insight into grant programs like this is invaluable to us. So we really, really appreciate that. And one of the items today that was a part of your commission approval was related to producing architectural plans and engineering site plans for our ports of entry projects, along with other projects that might come up where we need those services during the year. And as Mr. Tegler alluded to, we are in preparation and working very closely with the Department of Public Safety and the Corporation Commission in preparation in order of priority for our ports of entry. Our next focus is going to be on Highway 69. Highway 69 is a very important transportation corridor in the state of Oklahoma, carries a very high volume of truck traffic, and we'll be looking at a port of entry down at Colbert on Highway 69. So that'll help us move and advance that project forward in our preparations to build the next one. And again, that requires close coordination with DPS and the Corporation Commission to make sure that we're prepared to staff and operate that facility once it is constructed. Those conversations are ongoing, and the ports of entry are absolutely one of our best tools for protecting our investment in our transportation infrastructure by helping monitor the trucks on the road, whether they're legally loaded, but in addition to highway safety and the inspection services that are performed at those locations by the Department of Public Safety to make sure that the trucking and the trucks that are being operated out there are in good service and in good operating condition. With that, Mr. Chairman, I would be happy to answer any questions that the Commission might have of me.
Thank you very much. But before I ask for adjournment, there are a lot of people here at every one of these commission meetings, and it's always a pleasure to get to sit up here and see the interest that we have from Oklahoma. I just want to share, I've been sitting here since May. I've been doing what I do for a living for 51 years. I build streets and roads and underground storm sewer and the stuff that this department does. And I came up here with a lot of interesting attitudes about a lot of things. I am so impressed with the people that do the heavy lifting in this department. This is an amazing group of people. I get the privilege of meeting, there's three of us in the, that go over all these bills in detail and answer, it's an hour and a half long meeting, and answer all these questions about, well, why'd you pay that, what does it cost? And I know some of them, I'm sure they're gonna be glad when I quit asking questions. But the more questions that I ask and the answers I get has just really thrilled me to get to be sitting in this chair, because this is a really outstanding department in the state of Oklahoma. If there's no other comments, I'll ask for a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Some second? Come on. I just touched what, I'm gonna touch it the second time and see if it's not me. We're adjourned. We got 6 to 1.